have another executive?
I guess we have a motion.
Or we gotta adjourn this.
This
meeting
one
and
going
start
to,
the next.
yeah, do we have a motion to adjourn the DDA meeting then?
Motion we adjourn.
All right, have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. We will now call the meeting of the Tourism Board at 6:45. Has everybody taken a chance to look over our minutes from our last meeting? January 23rd. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. Moving down to Mr. Carl, financial report. That's one they already give us. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one I already gave you, because that one has a little more to it.
Okay.
There's actually money coming into and out of that account. So what I've printed out for you is just since the very beginning of when we started the Convention of Visitors Bureau. So that's the second sheet. It goes all the way back to August 16 when we started the entity. And so you can see there by month the money coming in and going out, and the total amount for the year last year, $42,628, and that's all tax revenue from the city that comes to us from the hotel motel tax. And then after expenses, we get down to left in the account of $17,000 at the end of the year. And our biggest expenses are you see there, the $14,000 to R&R, and we still owe them a couple more payments on that too. And then some advertising, it's all advertising and event sponsorships. It's the big expenses on there. And then if you look at this year's, the first sheet, is where we stand after. This is just through today, so it's not all of February, but I don't expect much more to happen tomorrow. So essentially it's all of February. And you'll see the same thing, the money coming in and going out. And we've actually in a hole so far this year just because we've had some big bills come in for the advertising expenses there to Atlanta Magazine for the Georgia Travel Guide and the newspapers of West Georgia, and the Carroll County Chamber Newcomer Magazine ad. I mean, those were all like $2,000, $5,000, $1,500. So just all added up, all things that we approved at previous meetings, and they all hit this year.
Any questions from Carl?
So, okay, I'm not an accountant kind of person.
That's
So
all right.
So this was our leftover from last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
where
we're-
is it on this?
It's not, because
Okay,
this starts in January.
okay.
So right now in the bank, I thought I wrote it down.
So
but
what's negative, we just balanced this year, but we're really not negative.
No,
About
no, no.
11,000 in it, right?
That's,
You
it's
take-
not the bank statement, it's just the
Yeah.
income
Yearly.
statement.
It's just the income,
statement,
yeah.
Right.
Okay,
So if you take the 17 at the end of last year, subtract out the 6, we've got a little over $11,000 in the bank right
all
now.
right, I'm good.
Okay.
Anything else from Carl? If not, we'll move on down to sponsorship request from Parks and Rec. Is that Mr. Christopher's?
Well, it's just a request from Parks and Rec for a 2017 event sponsorship proposal. This is just for the sake of clarity. Parks and Rec does, Main Street does most of the events downtown, but Parks and Rec, they do the summer concert series and the comedy night. So there's 6 items that they do downtown. And then they also do the July 3rd fireworks, and they do the Gold Nugget drop. So this is a request and in support of those events and activities that they do through the Parks and Leisure Services, Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services.
Now, is this basically just a sponsorship for their activities? It is not targeted at advertising or anything? It's just a general sponsorship?
Well, it's to assist in if you basically put the 1, 2, 3rd paragraph, the media and local press. So it's the promotion through 92.9 The Bear, through the newspapers of West Georgia, Graddick Communications, Villa Rica News and Views, Star News of West Georgia.
So this will partially at least go to pay them for PR?
Yes, correct. Yeah, for marketing and promotion of events that Parks and Rec
And
does.
as, I know like in business, when we sponsor an event or
Advertise.
work with an organization, do we get our logo and advertisement as, being,
Yeah, they
I didn't see that.
They don't have it spelled out in here. We can certainly work with them on that. They do have signage that they put up at their events and things like that. So definitely that is something that we can have added as a condition from the board.
I think any,
PR.
It was in here somewhere.
I may have overlooked it, I just.
Yeah, well, it says methods of publicity. It's kind of
Yeah.
general, but the last
Yeah.
one says your company banner displayed during the stage area during their events. But I'm assuming we'd be on the posters and such too. We just have to
No
clarify
worries.
that.
You got a
I'm
full
confused.
color
I
page.
thought
Sounds
this
like a
was, they're wanting us to help pay
I
to
can't
this
read black.
man who will market it, everything.
That's a different one.
That's different.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Carl.
That's next.
Okay.
That's
This is just an actual, they want us to be a sponsor.
Mhm.
correct.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead, Gary.
so, again, like I said, if, and I know there's different levels of sponsorship for different events and that type of thing, but I just feel like for $3,000, if we can get any mileage out of it.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, we can
No,
definitely
it's-
make.
It's to our self-interest, but still.
I mean, we definitely can make specific recommendations. I mean, I do that all the time. So, I mean, just because it's what's written here doesn't mean we can't ask for something else.
Will you sell it, Chris?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if at a minimum, if we say, hey, we want banners at events, I mean,
All events.
okay. Well, we got to specify
Which event?
Parks and Rec events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, since it's their sponsor, yeah.
And this says it's to the DDA, but I'm assuming that we have to do this through the convention. And
Board.
Yeah, it's
Tourism
not DDA. It's
Yeah.
It's
it's
tourism.
CVB.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, they had put the proposal to the DDA.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Everybody's still trying to figure out
Sort
the
that out.
lines, yeah. We haven't even got it fixed ourselves. We still say Villa Rica Board of Tourism is Villa Rica CVB.
So we need a motion for this $3,000, is that right, Chris?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Will that come out of the tourism budget then?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in tourism
Yeah.
right now, so.
Yeah, for some reason, I still think they're the same.
So we
Two
do-
pots of money.
so
You
we
should,
do-
you should have seen me fixing all the accounts that we have.
Main Street.
Oh, I'm glad
I have four entities that I'm responsible for. So everywhere we go, I have 4 accounts, and they ask me which one we're billing this to. So
I am assuming that Parks and Recreation will actually go out and look for other sponsorships.
yeah, we're just one of many people that they ask for. Yeah.
So they go to Sugar Foods and Rickmack and.
Yeah.
Tanner.
Yeah, okay.
So do we need a motion for $3,000 then?
If that's the
Parks and
will
Rec?
of the.
Motion we allocate that 3,000, send them.
All right, we got a motion from Gary, second from Jody. All in favor? Simple enough then. All right,
Simple enough.
moving down to number 6,
5.
5,
Business?
old business, hotel motel tax.
All right, that's my request. And if everyone's been reading the email exchange,
We got read it.
steak dinner riding on this, 2 of them. And Jay has given you his word, or you just read it in the paper?
He did,
He gave you his word that he would introduce it.
he did.
Okay,
And it was in the county paper last Thursday or Friday.
okay, I didn't see, the Times Georgian?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it where he said that. I just read where he said it wasn't
It was
going to
in
be.
the Waterhead area,
Okay,
where all the legal notices are.
yeah, okay. Well, I don't, no disrespect, I don't think that's enough. I think we still need to contact Dugan and Gravely, and if you know anyone else, just say, hey, our city council has approved this, we've sent it up here, our tourism board, we're the county designated, what are we called?
Regional visit.
Regional place, we need this money to do good on that, because what happens a lot of times, and I'm not saying this is what's happening, I just know that this happens a lot. Someone to make their constituents happy will say, yeah, I'll introduce this and have side deals saying, I'm not in support of this, but I got to make my people happy at home. Well, all right, you're not for it, we won't be for it. So that's why I say more people that know we are for this need to know. It's nothing to shoot an email. I recommend emails because they're trackable, they're easier for them to keep track, but if you prefer calling, but I would definitely call those for everyone. We all need to call Jay and Representative Gravely and Senator Dugan. And again, if you know anyone else, I mean, I have some friends that are up there and I'm going to call them. I've already called one, so we've crafted our budget around this, correct?
No.
No, we haven't? Okay.
If this goes into
8%.
effect, it'll be an increase.
It'll be an increase, okay,
But our budget is crafted on the current collection.
which is 8.
No, 5.
Well, I was reading in past. Okay. All right, so that's my encouragement, that we need to do that, and I hope Jay honors the, will of the Villa Rica. I know he's against new taxes, any kind of tax. And, but this is a tax that we pay when we stay anywhere else.
Right.
But we do not collect that benefit when people come stay in Villa Rica. So, and it also, as Chris has explained, anyone that's listened to his presentations before, it can lower the more taxes we bring in, the more we can roll back property taxes. The more sale tax we bring in, we can roll back property taxes. So it's a win-win.
Well, is Carrollton also asking for the same hotel?
They are, yes.
Theirs has already been,
No, I don't think that there's,
I don't think so
I go to the General Assembly website every day to kind of see the progress of it, and neither one have been introduced at this point. So.
And hopefully they'll both be introduced at the same time.
Douglasville already has it.
Yeah.
And so I don't see where it's any feather in our cap to be the cheapest taxes on the interstate. I think that's kind of counterproductive on a bunch of fronts. So, and
Well, I can
please,
tell you, when I travel, it's usually to the tune, that accommodations tax is usually to the tune of 10 to 14%. I mean, it's not cheap,
right.
so.
I think 8% is the state cap on that, though, isn't it? And I don't mind, certainly I don't mind anybody else calling Jay or Senator Dugan or anybody else. I feel like I have already done all that I personally
I think Jody's
should
point's
do.
made. I mean, we need to need to be contacting other people we know and just,
Well,
there needs to be a voice heard.
Like I say,
Many voices.
personally, I think I have already done all this necessary, but certainly you folks can call them all and on your own do that. And I would certainly support you doing that.
Alrighty.
Any new business, graphic design retainer?
Yes, this is my item. I did receive an email from Carl over the weekend in utter confusion. I want it, and I think it needs some clarity. This is a retainer for someone to do graphic design on a retainer basis for a year. This is different than what we're paid R&R to do. R&R is to develop what is our imaging, our website, our brochures, but it's not to do any graphic design past the end of their contract. And the reason why I went out looking for someone to do this, I'm spending somewhere in the neighborhood 15 hours a week on graphic design work, which is a lot of my time. And as the interim city manager so eloquently stated today when he asked me, what do you do here? He says, you have 3 jobs. And I said, yes, I have 3 full-time jobs. And I told him that we really needed another person in the Main Street office. Well, obviously that's not going to happen. But this is a way that we can have somebody under contract to do some of the workload that will free me up to do other things. We are right now about 2.5 going on 3 months behind on the R&R contract, not at their fault because of mine, because I have to put things in a priority list. And so that just has not been, between Main Street and DDA, that just hasn't been a very high priority thing, not because it's not important, but just because there's only so many hours in a day. So we have to figure out ways to take some of this workload off. And this is something that's eligible for the funding. I will tell you, it is a $6,000 contract for the year, but it's unlimited graphic design. So any ads that need to be built, any flyers that need to be made, anything that has to do with any graphic design, it's unlimited per month for the $500 per month. But having said that, I also saved us $5,000 because we worked out an advertising trade with Villa Rica News and Views and Chapel Hill News and Views. So instead of us having to pay them $5,000 in cash, we're just putting banners up at events at the amphitheater. So it's not taken away from our advertising money by utilizing this contract, because we've just basically gotten that money back in trade advertisement. So, but it would definitely take a lot of load off. There's some things that we just, quite frankly, don't even make the deadlines for because I just don't have time to build the ads. And Sharon, she fusses at me all the time because she needs the stuff done, but it's just, it's only so much time. So this is something that will significantly reduce some of this part of the workload.
So I guess I have two questions.
Yes.
One, I take it you're familiar with their work, so.
Correct. I've actually worked with this person before, but if you look at his achievements, he's won newspaper. He's worked for TV stations. If you're familiar with Philip Phillips, who's from Southwest Georgia, he basically did all the graphic design work leading up to the point where he got on American Idol. So he's won numerous awards. He's had 3 Emmy nominations for his work that he's done. So for us to get him at this rate is phenomenal. So, but yeah, he does very good quality work.
And I guess my second question is, when we've got him on retainer for unlimited, so, if he has to work on something extensively, then our price doesn't go up, right?
No, this is a flat rate every month.
Right. So herein lies my question, is he won't have the incentive to, if we need something, you were talking about deadlines being met. If you need something, there's
Well, I mean, if he's not meeting deadlines, there's no reason for us to do business.
terminated
So I
contract.
mean, it's not in his interest not to meet deadline. And we're not going to be inundating him with,
Well, I understand.
hundreds
It's
of
not
hours
like we
of
have
work.
3
Yeah.
projects a week
Yeah.
that we need.
But it is a significant amount of graphic design work that I'm doing where it
Okay.
would be beneficial to have somebody to help with this.
I've got a couple of comments. First of all, I appreciate the work that you do, Chris.
Well, thank you.
You are well thought of in the community, and people respect you and your expertise, your effort and everything, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Secondly, I noticed that this guy, Josh, is from Eastman, Georgia.
Mhm.
And I just wondered, how in the world did you find somebody from Eastman?
Well,
I went through Eastman twice this last
Yeah.
summer. And if you took downtown Temple and quadrupled it, you've got Eastman, Georgia.
Right.
Now, I didn't go out in the countryside around Eastman, Georgia, but I actually ate at a restaurant there twice this summer. The only restaurant in downtown Eastman. And I just thought, what is a guy with this kind of achievements doing in Eastman? Because it's in the middle of nowhere, sure
Yeah.
enough.
He worked for, he actually worked for the Fox affiliate in Albany, which is how I met him. Then he moved over to the other side of the state to work for the Fox affiliate in Augusta. So that's where all of his connections to the Emmys and the Addies and the Telly Awards come from. It's his work in the TV business.
How old is this guy?
I have no idea.
Ballpark.
He's probably about around my age, about
25?
yeah, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. He has to be. He's probably in his late 30s, early 40s.
that you and Sharon do. So, I move we
Well, I've got,
go for
I got one more question before we act on your motion, sir. Can you suspend that motion for just a moment, please?
for about 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. In the executive summary page.
Yep.
The design and advertising is to be in support of Main Street program, downtown development, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Mhm.
So, but the tourism, the CVB is gonna foot the bill for all of it, right?
Well, because all of those fit in the qualifications and the guidelines of what we can spend the hotel motel tax, because it's all marketing
Okay.
and promoting.
Well, like you said, I'm still trying to figure out CVB and
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
ways the tentacles work, so.
Yeah, the work that he would be doing would be promotion and marketing of Villa Rica. So it all fits within the legal guidelines
Sure.
of what we can use the
Sure,
money
I
for.
just needed clarification from my.
Yeah.
So, on that.
So, Bill, would you like to make that motion again?
One more time, I move that we accept this.
And I'll second you, Mr.
We
Taylor.
got a motion and a second, all in favor? All right, moving right on down to public comments. Sharon, you got anything? All right, items for future agendas.
When are we going to appoint the working board?
Well, now that I've just cleared up 15 hours out of my week, we can bring those to y'all at the next meeting. Yeah,
What was the question again?
Oh,
The board.
the advisory board for tourism.
I am sorry. Can I got one question to revisit on the graphics design guide. I noticed on his rate schedule too, that we get $1,000 discount if we just go ahead and pay him $5,000. Do we need a motion to pay it all in a lump sum, or do we want to pay it
I
monthly?
was wondering if we want to do that.
Yeah, I would.
One, it's going to pretty much drain our bank account.
Okay.
With the sponsorship we just
So
talked
we'll pay the
about.
monthly
and
fee.
We got 11,000. We've already just set aside, 6,000 and 3,000. So
Okay.
it would drain our bank account, and plus we got to see what kind of work he's going to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, to your point, if it does become a scheduling issue, then we want to be able.
Want to be able to back out?
Yeah.
Not-
And
Sure.
Not that I anticipate that it will be, but people's life circumstances change all the time.
All the
So, you don't. I'd rather just void the contract than us try to hunt down money
Yeah.
after we've paid it. So.
All right, moving on now, number 9, executive session. Nothing?
Yep, I got it, another short one here.
Another short one, all right?
Is this real estate?
Yes, it is.
Real estate for tourism?
That's what I understand it to be.
Okay.
Let Sharon cut the mics off then. And do we have a motion to go into executive session then?
I made one.
All right, we got a motion to go into executive. Do we have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
All right, motion and a second, all in favor.